Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. I thought I was being honest when I asked my husband for permission, but honesty can be cruel when it's wrapped in contempt. My name is Claire, I'm 35, and for years I told myself that my marriage was just going through a phase. I said Mark was sensitive, that he needed reassurance, that my blunt jokes were harmless. The truth was uglier. I had learned how to wear him down and call it communication. Mark and I had been together 8 years, married for 5. He worked hard, paid the bills, came home on time. He wasn't flashy or loud. He listened. I mistook that for weakness. Somewhere along the way I started comparing him to louder men who talked over people and took up space. I didn't say it directly at first. It came out sideways in sighs, eye rolls, and comments disguised as humor. The night I crossed the line wasn't dramatic. No shouting, no slammed doors. We were sitting at the kitchen table after dinner, dishes drying on the rack, the house quiet. I was scrolling on my phone and feeling bored, irritated by nothing in particular. I looked at him and said almost casually, "Do you ever worry that we're more like roommates now?" He looked surprised, then thoughtful. He said we could work on it. That should have been enough. Instead, I leaned forward and asked the question I'd been rehearsing in my head. If I'm not getting what I need here, would you be okay if I got intimacy somewhere else? I said it like I was proposing a schedule change. He went very still. He asked what I meant. I told him exactly what I meant, and then I laughed to soften it, as if laughter could make it reasonable. He didn't yell. He asked why I thought that was fair. I shrugged and listed my grievances, carefully framed to sound rational. I said he wasn't passionate. I said he lacked drive. I said I felt young and unseen. Each sentence landed like a small cut. He tried to respond, but I interrupted, correcting his tone, explaining his feelings back to him. I was relentless and calm. That was my advantage. Over the next weeks I kept returning to it. I framed it as honesty. I framed it as growth. I said other couples were open-minded. I said love wasn't possession. When he resisted, I sighed and asked why he was so insecure. When he looked hurt, I told him he was overreacting. I didn't realize I was teaching him that his pain didn't matter. Eventually he stopped arguing. He looked tired in a way I hadn't seen before, like someone who had given up on being understood. One night, after I brought it up again, he said quietly, "If that's what you want, then do it." I felt a rush of victory and relief. I kissed his cheek and thanked him for trusting me. He didn't smile. What I didn't notice was what ended that night. He stopped touching me entirely. He became polite, distant, efficient. He slept early, woke early, and kept his phone face down. I told myself this was the adjustment period. I told myself he'd catch up. Instead, he was pulling away with intention. The day he left, there was no confrontation. He packed a bag while I was at work and left a note on the counter. It said he had agreed to my terms, but he hadn't agreed to lose his self-respect. He said he hoped I found what I was looking for, and that he was done competing for a place in his own marriage. I called him, furious, then panicked. He didn't answer. Days passed. Friends stopped replying. When I finally spoke to his sister, she said he was calmer than she'd ever seen him. She said he was done being worn down. Sitting alone now, I replay that conversation at the kitchen table. I hear my voice, reasonable and sharp. I hear his silence. I understand something too late. Consent given under pressure isn't a gift. It's a farewell. I asked my husband for permission to betray him, and in doing so, I taught him exactly how little I valued him. He believed me and he chose himself. I used to call him a loser because he wouldn't fight me. Now I see that restraint was his strength. He didn't beg, threaten, or chase. He listened, decided, and walked away. There was no dramatic revenge, just consequences settling in. I wanted freedom without cost. He wanted dignity. In the end, only one of us got what we asked for, and it wasn't me. Some lessons arrive quietly, and by the time you understand them, the door is closed.